So massive thanks for joining myself, whether you're joining myself live or at a later time. I'm going to be with Jack Jiggins hopefully in the next few minutes if technology is working. So Jack is going to be with myself next Tuesday morning. So Tuesday the 3rd of November. Jack, massive thanks. It's been a long time since you've been on one of my events in terms of co-hosting. So Jack, can you
How
hear
are we
me?
doing?
I'm just going to turn up the volume slightly. That should be better. It's a bit blustery where I am. Can you still see me, Jack?
No.
Okay. For some
Well,
reason,
now I can see you're out in the wild.
I'm at the Olympic Park. I was in the gym this morning, and next to me was Eddie Simmons. I don't know if you heard of Eddie Simmons, Jack?
Is he a swimmer?
Very well. She's quite a famous swimmer. Yeah, one of Great Britain's most famous athletes. So, it was just bizarre to see her next to me.
Did you beat her in her laps?
No, I don't think I'd be her, Jack. If I did, I think I'd be doing something else maybe next week. But I'd certainly still be joining you on Tuesday morning. Look, I know we've got Daryl from Lendwell. He's talking about bridging finance and refurb finance. Daryl Norcott of Lendwell. David Sandeman of EIG, Essential Information Group. And we've got yourself and Stephen Lang. So Stephen, I heard a couple of years ago at Mark Stokes' event in Weybridge, and I thought, wow. So he's from Savills, Head of Research for Office Sector for Savills, Stephen Lang, and Life Science. Jack, it's really good to see you back there as well next week, next Tuesday. You've been fairly busy. I have to admit, I can't keep up to date of what EXP is up to or not up to. So in 1 minute or less, what is the EXP up to, Jack?
So, thanks, Brendan. Good to catch up as well. So, for those that don't know EXP, we're an SME property development business that operate with land, residential and commercial buildings. We like units between 1 and 20 in the south of England, so home counties and London. For those that do know us, what have we been up to? We have had a crazy year. There's been a lot of uncertainty, a lot of difficulty with banks and funding, but no difficulty in finding projects that work for us. So we're on average nearly doing. We're averaging 1 purchase a month this year. So we're almost doing 12 purchase developments this year, which is obviously crazy busy. And we're on site with 4 of them. We've got 1 finished, sold, and legals going through to sell those units. And then we've got 5 more in legals. So we're very busy.
Jack, my question to you is who's doing the PMing, but is shared between you and Ben, or have I got it slightly wrong?
Ben does most of it. So we take on main contractors on a JCT contract. So we're managing the contractor, not managing the build. So Ben does most of the project management and delivery, but the contractor also takes a lot of that weight off us.
Okay, so that sounds great on paper, Jack, and I said it would be really brief. But in realistic terms, being really that busy, is it easy to work with the same contractor on all projects, or is it different contractors?
Yeah, no, we have to use separate contractors for most. We can use one contractor for 3, maybe 4 projects maximum. But the projects we're doing, the size of them, we do have to diversify and go with other contracts. So contract management and contract tendering is a pretty key element of our process.
So, look, I promised it would be a nice, short, quick video. Just one final question on contractors, because, even in this climate, it can be difficult to find the right team. I often see on Facebook, people struggling to get the right builders in projects. So my question to you is, what do you look for in contractors? I know, for example, some people talk about turnover of the company, making sure they're a particular size.
Yeah, there's quite a few things that you need to look at for a contractor. It's almost looking like a partner. Um, Expertise is one thing. So have they done projects similar to yours, of the same scale of yours and the same quality as yours? Organisation is one of my key things. They've got to be organised. They've got to tender well. They've got to break down the documentation. They've got to know what they're talking about.
So
You
can we
mentioned,
just rewind very slightly? You said
yeah,
organisation. So
yeah.
what does that mean in layman terms, Jack?
So if you're tendering a build and their organisation, so the timeframes it takes for them to get back, the organisation of their documentation, the breakdown of their tendering, if that's all over the place, then their build is going to be similar. So we think that most organisations that have a good process in tendering normally have a good process in build. So it's quite common that we make sure that. Hi, Gleb's just sent a message. Hey, Gleb. So we like to ensure that ideally we're taking on someone that's pretty organised upfront, understands what they're doing, to take us through the progress. Other things you can do is you can reference contractors, you can look at their other work. You mentioned the turnover. You can make sure that their business can take on more than your project per year. Ideally, sort of 2 or 3 or 4 projects that are the same size as yours annually. To make sure that they're not going to go bust, or they're not going to overstretch themselves, or they're not going into a realm where they haven't operated before.
So, look, my last question, Jack, is are you still open to new contractors, or you're happy with who you're working with? You're not open to new opportunities? Or what opportunities are you open to?
Well, we're always open to new property opportunities, and we're always open to new contractors. My view is always tender, even if you've got a very good relationship with someone, and keep rolling them into the next projects. So, for example, for our HMOs, we're now on our 5th or 6th project, and we've used the same contractor for all of those. But we still tender just to make sure that we've got a comparative price from that individual. I mean, we would consider new contractors, but then I've got the view of, if it works and it's not broken, don't fix it. And you also spend a lot of time getting to know the contractor, to see how they work and how they operate, and they understand a bit more about how you work and how you operate. So there's a lot of time allocated for that. So don't necessarily lose that if you've built a good relationship and process with someone. You don't have to change and get a new contractor.
Okay. Jack, look, we could continue. I know people are joining us right now. Massive thanks to Canary Homes. Jack gave me a quite tight deadline. I think he said maximum of 10 minutes. So I'm going to uphold that time. But if you want more than 10 minutes, join me, myself and Jack next Tuesday morning, 3rd of November. And it's not Canary Homes. Massive thanks for joining us. Why not join us on Tuesday morning? Jack, I just want to say massive thanks for taking time out this morning. And massive thanks to those listening right now or listening at a later time. So, Jack, how
So
can people reach
Brendan,
you?
on Tuesday, what are we up to then? We've got myself co-hosting with you. We've got Daryl Norkett from Lendwell speaking.
Yeah, sure. Speaking on refurb versus bridging loans. We've also got David Sanderman, one of the UK's top experts in auctions, last 20 plus years, Essential Information Group. If you want to get access to, and we've got Stephen Lang, who personally is in the top 1% of speakers I've heard over the last decade. So look,
Top
it's not me
1%.
1%. It's not me who discovered Stephen. It's Mark Stokes. So it's not always myself who finds incredible speakers. So massive thanks to Mark for allowing me to come to the event in the first place. A massive thanks to Stephen. And you'll see why, Jack, on Tuesday, because the information he'll be covering, you won't see anywhere else. He's not a name for most people they've heard of. He's not on the circuit whatsoever. So that's it for the moment, Jack. I just want to say massive thanks.
So Brendan, where does Ben fall in your percentile of speakers?
Ben's one of my sponsors, of course. You know, if you're asking who my sponsors are, I've got Fon as well. They've recently come in as a sponsor. We're going to hear from them very shortly. Ronald Fletcher Baker and also Connection. So, look, in terms of speakers, in terms of people who connected there's a huge amount of choice, and the choice is for next Tuesday morning at 9:30. One place to be. Jack, I just want to say massive thanks for reaching out and taking time out this morning. I look forward to hearing more from yourself next Tuesday morning. Remember, for the audience, it's your chance to participate as well. Share what you're doing in property also. So, Jack, thank you.
Thanks, Brendan.